Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that it's not going to really be an issue. I'll just edit myself. But Megan, P.S. I Loathe You is our 9th book. Is our 10th book. It will be our 11th video. Okay, so okay, I'm looking at my script, and this is like, it's really not. I just like how this book actually the like actual cover actually encapsulate what the book is about, because the book kind of has a Tiffany inspired and the, you know, the name BRATFEST at Tiffany's with the like Tiffany-ish, blue-ish cover. Is very cute. I just super duper love this. I was really feeling the pink lip when I put it on. And all it does is bring attention to the fact that I have the mustache of a 13-year-old boy. Ugh. So, you know, and everyone's being all bitchy and mean inside of a Tiffany box portable. Alright, so this book came out. So, BRATFEST at Tiffany's comes out in 2008. And, so keep that in mind. So, let's read the back of the book together. I don't really have a lot of thoughts. No thoughts. This book was fun, engaging. It didn't make me feel like I was losing my humanity. I probably will revisit Sealed with a Diss and make an actual full-fledged video for it, just for, like, to be fair. Yeah. So let's read the back of the book. New year, new pretty committee. New LBRs? Massey Block. The Briarwood boys have invaded OCD and are taking over everything. Worse, the soccer boys have become so popular that the pretty committee's alpha status is seriously in jeopardy. So Massey lays out a new year, new pretty committee rule. Anyone caught crushing on a boy will be thrown out of the NPC forever. But will she be able to follow her own decree when she sees that Darrington has ditched his shorts obsession in favor of adorable jeans? I think it's fine. Alicia Riviera is the opposite of on board with the boy fast. Her crush, the Ralph Lauren loving Josh Holtz, is more irresistible than creme brulee froyo. But is he worth losing her spot in the NPC and taking on the wrath of Massey? Dylan Marvel is so ready for the boy fest. She straightened her unruly red hair and permanently pressed boys out of her life. If only she could do the same with curly fries and caramel popcorn. Jesus Christ. Christian Gregory has traded her sporty chic Pumas for Billabong board shorts and a shark tooth necklace. She claims she's sworn off boy crushes. But what's with her blue crush makeover? Claire Lyons spent all summer thinking about Cam's one blue eye and one green eye. But now he's moved on to a girl faster than you can say cutest couple. I hated that line. That was terrible. At least Claire finally has a secure spot in the NPC, unless jealousy flirting breaks the boy fast. Okay, so fun fact, this book actually came out before the summer collection. Didn't seem right for me to read through these books not in the summer, so I didn't. But I don't have Christian's book, but Christian's book explains kind of why she's like that in the summer collection. Megan, throw up the end card. It's not one of my proudest videos, but I need to get a video up, so, you know, check it out. I don't know why I put this book away. Like, I'm not going to have to read from the tomes. Ugh. I love Poppy and print books. They're my little obsession. They're so girly and shit. I got a new one today from my library. I got Posure, and I don't know when this book came out. It's a Poppy imprint book, so. Also, someone stapled this book. Children are Unruly 2008. And the fashions are definitely giving this mess as well, but I can't believe there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books left. It's crazy. Okay, so it's the first day back at school after the whole flooding of Briarwood Academy, and this book, yeah. But I read it afterwards because it doesn't make sense. Okay. Put up the card. We already did that. So it's the morning that school starts, and Massey and Claire are sneaking into the cafe to make sure that their favorite table, table 18, is all set up for them to sit at, labeled for them. They go in and everything has changed. The school is no longer like Starbucks Delicious, green, or not green smoothie, like I can only imagine what I would like, whatever a hearty health food is, that's what I imagine OCD's lunch cafeteria was before, and it certainly is not that anymore. I feel like I've taken like 3% stress damage because of that. Just like blows my leg off because it's a battery. Oh, it didn't even hit the ground that hard. Fuck. Okay. So instead of it being all Starbucks Delicious, it is all green juice and all the like. But Massey isn't really aware of that at first. She is too busy being worried about all the things that happened with the boys last year. I didn't write a page number for that, but what exactly is an LBR? Dr. Braun would ask. Burgundy Mont Blanc posed above her yellow legal pad. A loser beyond repair. Ah, yes, of course. And why are you so afraid of boys? I'm not afraid of boys. Just Briarwood ones. Well, actually the soccer players. Go on. Last year, the Pretty Committee won the key to this bomb shelter in the basement of OCD. Inside, there was a flat screen that linked to the boys' sensitivity training class at Briarwood. We watched it a few times and heard all their secret confessions. After that, we kind of started acting like freaks around our crushes because we thought we knew what they were thinking. Even though, turns out we really didn't. So they all dumped us at Sky Hamilton's end-of-year costume party. If you didn't watch my video, because honestly, I wouldn't have watched that video. But statistically, a lot less of you watched that video, and I don't know if it's because you didn't see it or if it's because, but you should subscribe. You should subscribe and click the bell, because I want to get 100 subscribers before the end of the year, and I feel like that's doable. But that's a plot sealed with a diss. The book I just like so much that I haven't even detabbed it. I have a blanket. It's worth fuzz in my mouth. And it's not so much being dumped that bugs me, because it's kind of alpha to have a bunch of crushes, of ex-crushes. It shows you have experience. It bugs me that the girls at OCD are so excited to have boys at our school. Because if they're as excited as I know they're going to be, the boys will be upgraded to beyond popular status, which makes them the new alphas. And if new alphas don't like us, which they don't, the pretty committee will be downgraded to LBRs. And if I become an LBR, I'll have to move to Canada and start over. Massey would look at her doctor intensely. And Glossop Girl doesn't ship to Canada. No one does! Burn. So, Massey and Claire break in. Massey has this whole therapy session in her head that I just read to you. And then Claire removed her bucket hat. What is all this? They stood in awe, gazing at the cafe, which had been transformed into a massive sun-drenched greenhouse. The new walls were made of glass, and the room's perimeter was lined with mini vegetable gardens framed by low white picket fences. The garden sprouted ripe red tomatoes, carrots, scallions, peas, cucumbers, and fresh herbs. Rows of new bamboo tables and chairs displayed photos of happily wrinkled local Westchester artisans who crafted them. The Starbucks kiosk had been replaced by a charming old-fashioned stagecoach. It stocked skin-clarifying Bora water, imported from Hong Kong, and drinkable low-fat yogurt. Oh my god. I promise you I'm literate. The Starbucks kiosk had been replaced by a charming old-fashioned stagecoach. It stocked skin-clarifying Bora water, imported from Hong Kong, and drinkable low-fat yogurt, guaranteed to speed up hair growth, head only, and increase shine in less than a week. Quaint country chalkboard signs listed the day's freshest produce, edamame and carrots, and the breakfast specials: buttermilk pancakes with chicken sausage, organic eggs Benedict, granola with locally grown fruit. The lunch specials: mac and cheese sprinkled with nitrate-free bacon, free-range turkey burgers, pizza with fresh tomatoes and mozzarella, and desserts. Protein-packed chocolate brownies, calorie-burning mint chip ice cream, calorie-burning mint chip ice cream cake, tooth-whitening lollipops. This is insane. These are middle schoolers. No more steel bars, plastic trays, or orange heat lamps. The cafe had become fabulously adorable. Eco-friendly farmers market gone 21st century. So after this happens, they put down their placard that says, reserved for the pretty committee, and they sneak back outside. Now that they put their placard on table 18, they go outside so that they can make a good first entrance and meet up with the rest of the NPC. The boys are crawling all over the land, and new stylishly dressed 7th graders are coming up. Massey, of course, thinks they look cheap and strumpety. Think that scene in Mean Girls where after Regina is vanquished, the new plastics appear and they're like so young, and they're just like, oh, well, we'll deal with them the way we did before by almost hitting them with a bus. Get into our new roles as the pretty committee, as alphas. A boy, but Massey knows that this is not going to be so easily said and done, as a boy smiles at Claire instead of Massey. What? What kind of hell are we in? Massey is feeling quite sensitive and vulnerable. So Massey and Claire find the rest of the girls. You might have gathered from our little that Dylan's personality for the book is that she got her hair straightened. She's still in diet culture era. She's still being toxic as hell. But you know what? We meet people where they're at. God, she is just so tacky. So tacky. I almost forgot. Megan, make sure to put it at the beginning of the video, but I want a trigger warning up. But also, I'll do the formal one here. Trigger warning for all sorts of things. I don't think there's any racism in this book that I'm going to be discussing. Massey says some xenophobic shit and some race-denying things about Alicia and being a faux Spanish. But we got a lot of ableist language in here. General 2000s speak. We all kind of know the deal on that, I think. So just know that is, in fact, a coming with this video. If you are, sensitive to that and all that it entails, which I don't blame anyone for being, just know that is coming. So, general fat phobia, ableism, and the like. Dylan's personality. Kirsten's personality is that she had a relationship with a boy over the summer that made her change her whole aesthetics. I don't have the book, but summer collection plug. He gave her a shark's tooth necklace, and so now instead of being like sporty chic, she's more like Roxy Surfer Girl chic. The girls are still kind of vague about what happened over their summer, again to tease these books. Dylan cannot say what happened over her summer because she signed an NDA. Alicia's kind of vague about what happened in Spain, and Claire doesn't really mention anything because the really important person to know was Massey, and she was there. They all compliment each other on their outfits, and Dylan is starting a new diet. They decided they're going to go into the first day assembly late so that they can make an impression the way they like to do. So Massey takes the extra time that they have to institute the new pretty committee. Please, Massey motioned for them to sit back down. What about the welcome back breakfast? Dylan pulled the stick out of her hair, letting it fall to her hips. What about your diet? Alicia countered. What about coughing up the cash to pay for the rest of these boots? Massey giggled. She had missed their playful put-downs. What are we waiting for? Claire asked. What about our table? And we need to make an entrance. We need to make an entrance, like we always do. If we file in with the masses, we'll be a part of the audience. But if we go in late, we'll steal the show. Alicia repuffed her purse and sat. Dylan, Kirsten, and Claire immediately followed. Exactly. Besides, I have something for you. She unzipped her bowler bag and pulled out 5 robin's egg, Tiffany blue, oh my god. She unzipped her bowler bag and pulled out 5 Robin's Egg blue Tiffany & Co. boxes. Each was tied with a white satin bow. They gasped. Suddenly the campus was remarkably empty in silence. There was only the sound of a few chirping birds and the squeak of a school bus hiss parking in the back lot. But Massey could have sworn she heard the thumping heartbeats of her friends as they stared excitedly at the little boxes on her lap. She silently counted to 10 to heighten the drama, and then began to explain. From this moment on, BFF will have new meaning. They exchanged confused glances. Starting now, it will stand for Best Friends First. The pretty committee collectively nodded in agreement. This year is going to be all about us, Massey continued, and only us. Boys are out. Dylan held on to her smile, while Claire, Alicia, and Kirsten shifted uncomfortably on their bags. Massey ignored their hesitation and forged ahead, knowing that the most convincing part of her speech was coming up. Boys make girls act like LBRs. Remember how lame we acted last year? She lifted her right brow and glared into each of their eyes. One by one, they lowered their heads in shame. I called Darrington immature. Meanwhile, I was the one kissing Sky Hamilton's butt so we could spy on Briarwood's sensitivity training class. How immature was that? Oh, God. Everyone nodded with a mix of support and understanding. It was the first time Massey had admitted she was wrong about anything, but doing so was necessary for her plan to succeed. Now, who would like to go next? A cloud passed and sunshine returned, doling out its dwindling summer supply through the spaces between leaves. Claire, how about you? I guess spying on Cam in sensitivity training class and then getting the wrong idea and accusing him of cheating on me with that girl Nikki was pretty bad. She giggled nervously. He hasn't returned a single one of my calls all summer. Are you ready to give up boys in pursuit of fabulousness? I guess. You guess? I mean, yeah. Yes, I am. Claire sat up tall. Massey led the girls in a round of supportive applause, then placed a light blue box on Claire's lap. Holding up a palm, she made it clear that the gift was not to be opened yet. Dylan? I pretty much turned into Shrek. The redhead burst out laughing when she remembered how much she had eaten and burped just to show Plovert and Clemp how down to earth she was. Earth. I'm sorry, T's are hard. Earth. Are you ready to give up on boys and focus on yourself and your friends? No guys is worth 10 pounds, even when it's 2 guys. Congratulations. Kristen? I pretended to love romance novels and black nail polish because I thought Griffin Hastings would like me better. And what happened? He dumped me. She shrugged. Shocker, huh? The girls laughed with her. Are you ready to give up boys and focus on your friends? Uh-huh. Massey held out her hand and wiggled her fingers. Okay, yeah. Uh-huh. Kirsten squeezed the shark's tooth. Massey held out her hand and wiggled her fingers. What? Asked Kirsten. Isn't that from Dune? Kirsten's mouth opened, but nothing came out. Well, he's a boy, isn't he? The soft breeze blew again, offering temporary relief to this heated moment. Isn't he? Yeah, but the necklace is from Ripple. I thought she says from Dune. I lied so that it... I thought you said it was from Dune. Alicia's chocolate brown eyes narrowed. You were right. I lied so it would sound like I had a fun summer. Ripple made it for me. I'm over boys. I promise. Knew it. Alicia slapped her own thigh. Kirsten accepted her box. Doesn't matter. Kirsten accepted her box and sighed with relief once the attention shifted to Alicia. What? I didn't do anything embarrassing. Josh still has a crush on me, and I still have a crush on him. Alicia beamed with pride. Her smile faded when Massey started tapping her nails on the dust Tiffany box. But I probably will do something stupid eventually, so I will swear off boys, just to be safe. Massey exhaled and grinned. She handed the box to Alicia, who snatched it up as if it was the last pair of sunglasses RL would ever make. I officially declare us the new Pretty Committee. The girls applauded and began pulling out the ribbons on their boxes. Not yet. You have to agree to the rules. As of this moment, we are on a boy fast. No flirting, no texting, no nothing. Boys are over. From now on, we will focus on being fabulous and staying on top. They applauded again and turned to their boxes. Not yet. There's one more thing. Failure to stay on the boy fast will lead to expulsion from the NPC. The breeze suddenly stopped and the tree stood still. No one spoke. Agreed, they all muttered. Good. We'll have an official swearing-in ceremony after school in the bomb shelter. May we please open these now? Asked Alicia, her red toe squirming in her boots. Go ahead. Oh my god. Five cursive initials, M, A, C, K, and D, hung off each one, and a red heart with the letters NPC engraved inside swung alongside them. Massey's bracelet was the only one with a seventh charm, a royal purple crown covered with sparkling Swarovski crystals. Now who's ready to go inside? Massey jumped to her snakeskin sandaled feet with renewed hope and energy. The NPC quickly joined her and linked arms, their bracelets swinging and colliding, toasting their new union. Where's your old charm bracelet? Claire asked, as they swiftly made their way towards the building. It's gone, just like the old Pretty Committee. I bet the new one will be much better, Dylan panted as she climbed the steps. It already is, Massey lied. All right, whew, that was a lot. All right, so they head into the cafe. Claire is awkward as always. She begins looking for Cam because all she can think about is Cam. Because Cam. Give this girl a personality that isn't being absolutely emotionally demolished by Massey or being in love with Cam. I beg of you. I beg. I don't ever want to hear anything from her point of view because all she ever is sad about Cam, to the point where I'm like, girl, stand up, seek help. Seriously, someone needs to figure out, do you need a mood stabilizer? Do you just need a good talking to by a good female role model? I think you do, because this is embarrassing. Aren't you embarrassed? But whatever. So they walk in, they go to their reserved seating, and Principal Spurns is like, ugh. There's now a new dean, Dean Dawn from the other school. Ding dong. And because it's 2008 and Massey's up on all the latest trends, Massey now has an iPhone. I believe both Massey and Alicia have iPhones, but all the other girls have different phones. And Claire still has the bedazzled Motorola from Dial L for Loser. Put up the card. Put up the card. With all the other introductory speeches done as they walk in about the boys are actually sitting essentially with the other pretty committee, the even prettier committee from Best Friends for Never and Revenge of the Wannabes. They are sitting with Strawberry, Corey, and Olivia Ryan with an even newer nose job and extensions. Kristen explains that Strawberry and Corey became BFFs with Olivia at summer school, and Olivia's older brother Andy has a skate ramp that the boys rode all summer. And that the girls would watch the boys ride it all day. So they're all together. And Massey's worst nightmare is that Darrington is now wearing jeans. He's matured. He never wore jeans for Massey. She is so dead on boys. Boys fast forever. Olivia is sitting next to Cam, which is obviously driving Claire feral. Alright. So now it's noon and we get Alicia's point of view, which I always super enjoyed. We haven't really gotten that again since Best Friends for Never and actually I think Revenge of the Wannabes and Invasion of the Boy Snatchers. God, it feels so long ago that they were in the woods, that they were fighting the Spanish, that they were models for a Christmas card, and that Claire and Massey finally became friends. And that, you know, it's been a whole year since this book at this point. So we get Alicia's point of view, and it's great to hear the point of view of a bad bitch. So now we get two bad bitch perspectives with her and Massey. So Alicia is up in the announcement booth. She still has her job from last year where she gets to announce the lunch announcements. She's excited. Where she thinks that she's alone up there. Josh Holtz, who snuck in to see her, he popped the janitor at 20 so that he could come and talk to her, because he does in fact have a genuine crush on her. I love Josh as a character, kind of. He's very earnest. So she sees him and she's just like, I cannot explain this whole boy fast thing to her. You just gotta, you know, gotta pretend like I'm not super into you. So Alicia is like, I'm just going to explain the whole reason why I can't talk to you right now, and you're just gonna have to vibe with it. Let's see if I can do this before my battery dies, because it's a quick one. Wait! She turned all the switches and pressed every button she could find. Suddenly, staticky white noise filled the booth. Between that and the soundproof walls, no one would hear what she was about to say. Josh dropped his bag and covered his ears. She motioned for him to come closer. He did, trying his hardest to stay mad. But like most boys, he was powerless in the presence of Alicia's exotic beauty. Alright, let's get into it. Listen, I know you like to gossip as much as I do, and God, I'm not as fast as I thought. Listen, I know you like to gossip as much as I do, but what I'm about to tell you is classified. She hurried. Okay? She held out her pinky. What's the finger for? He smiled with amusement. You have to pinky swear not to tell anyone. Fine. He rolled his eyes as if the soccer team were watching, and then offered his baby finger. Swear. They shook. Okay. Here's the deal. The pretty committee is now the new pretty committee because we're all on a boy fest. We're not allowed to hang out with the boys anymore because boys make girls do stupid things, and we don't want to act stupid anymore. So I'm not allowed to talk to you, and if I do, I'll get thrown out of the NPC for good. So what do I do? Alicia searched Josh's eyes for a reaction, but they were shaded by his Yankee cap. Say something! I love that. I love that. That's camp. That's so dumb. So camp. I can't sit like that. It's gonna fuck up my ankles. They're so dorky for each other. They love the same type of courtroom drama, lingo. They love being gossips. They are so compatible. And he's kind of like, no, I totally get it. You know, if the soccer team wanted to do something that I didn't really agree with, it would suck. So obviously I'm just not gonna do it. So let's brainstorm how we can make this work for us, for our love, for our young love. So Alicia does the announcements. Kirsten's going to be the captain of the girls' soccer team. Darrington is going to be the captain of the boys' soccer team. There aren't enough lockers. So how are we going to solve this problem? Get to it. So after she does her announcement, Joyce is going through the file and sees some more announcements and finds that half the capacity will put into an overflow building on the back of the school at school tomorrow at lunch. Page 35. Tomorrow at lunch they're going to... Oh my god. Okay. Killer. What's this? Josh asked, leafing through a red folder he had plucked out of the plastic hanging file sorter on the wall. It's confidential. Alicia snatched it away before he could read another word. It's got Principal Burns' announcements in it. Killer. Hand it over. Let's read it. We can't. Alicia held it behind her back. Why not? Josh tried to grab it. Don't you want the gossip? His hunger for gossip was charming, no doubt, one of his best qualities. But they were in the newsroom, and here gossip was known as a leak, and leaks were unethical in a big way. Come on, let me take a peek. I swear I won't tell anyone. He wiggled his pinky in her face. She giggled again. He's more irresistible than creme brulee froyo. Words, especially words I haven't used since the year 2014. Fine, but I'll read it. Yes. Oh my God. She scanned the ivory OCD letterhead. Her left brow arched in disbelief as alarming news whizzed by. Due to the dangerously high capacity and quaint overflow building, and located in the back parking lot. Oh my God. This is more shocking than the Skull and Bones clothing trend. What? Josh reached for the announcement, but she whipped it away. Tomorrow at lunch, they're going to announce that everybody at the tables 1 through 10 will be transferred to an overflow facility until BO can find a way to make more space. What kind of facility? Doesn't say. But you're at table 18, and we're at 3. His warm brown eyes cooled with fear. We'll be separated. Alicia paused. Maybe that would be a good thing. If she didn't see Josh during the day, Massey would never find out they were talking. But not seeing him every day would mean, well, not seeing him every day. And how depressing would that be? I have an idea. He pulled off his basketball hat and ran his hand through his thick, dark hair. Alicia had no idea what she adored more, his devious mind or the wavy hair that protected it. He makes her swear on his Yankee hat and then promises to email her the plans to figure out how to fix this for them. Once the coast was clear, she jammed the pink hat into the bottom of her motorcycle bag until it was buried under more makeup than Paula Abdul. Then she turned off the lights and inhaled the darkness, willing her thumping heart to mellow. Something was making it beat ferociously, but what? The thrill of Josh? The fear of Massey? It was impossible to tell. Love and terror felt exactly the same. Ooh. Ugh. Yeah. So Lainey is in her protest era. She's protesting everything. She literally cannot stop protesting. Very black squares. Very, this pussy grabs back. Very, I love black dick. BLM. That kind of protesting. She means well, but God, is it annoying. So she's protesting something. No clue. Claire's taking a health class. Sadly, both Olivia and Cam are in this health class. Honestly, this chapter is wild. I'm just gonna read it to you for a little bit. We'll just vibe. Okay, also we have a new named character, which is always important because Massey has stated that she does not give names to people that she does not give a shit about. They get a nickname in her head. Take your seats, please. A very pregnant woman dressed in tight white Hudson jeans, a gold chain-link belt, and a white V-neck stretch t-shirt that was strained to cover her baby bump. If it hadn't been for her dark brown roots, the overprocessed strawberry blonde Shakira curls could have passed for a heaping dollop of Cool Whip. Oh my God, she's got a balayage. I'm Gina James, but you can call me Gina. That's Gina. She turned and smiled and blinded the first row with her bleached veneers. Cargo Pants threw one of his jewels at Gina, and the boys all bursted out laughing. Claire and Lane exchange an eye roll. It was going to take a lot more to embarrass me than that. She leaned against the front of her desk and crossed her ankles, and probably very little to embarrass you. So watch it, or I'll have you stand next to Adam and Eve and make you name their body parts. Army Cap slid down the back of his seat. Since it's a mixed-gendered class this year, I thought it would make sense to teach you what happens when a man and a woman. She was interrupted by a sound of embarrassed, oh my god. Baby arm, do not scare me like that. Ew, what is that? What is that? Is that candle wax? Where would that have come from? I feel like I'm losing my mind. I think it's candle wax. I got mystery candle wax on my phone. Very, very cool. Super slay. And if it's not candle wax and it's hair product, I hope it doesn't set my hand on fire. That would suck, really. Oh. You ever do something over a hot flame and then watch your fingers turn red? Me, I'm gonna be so smart with my camera battery time, and then me spending most of my time fucking around with a candle. No, not that. Gina waved away the ridiculous thought. I know you already know about that. I'm talking about what happens next. Everyone was silent for a second. And for the second time that morning, Claire's mind was not on Cam. All she could think about was the brutally uncomfortable talk her parents had had with her seconds after she had downed her third slice of Baskin-Robbins mint chocolate chip ice cream cake on her 9th birthday. They'd cornered her at the picnic table once all the guests had left and asked her if she understood the jokes her older cousin Debbie had been telling. She shook her head and stuffed handfuls of jelly beans in her mouth while they went into disgusting detail about what happens when two people love each other. Minutes after they were done, Claire puked green in her new sandbox, and still to this day, she had no idea if it was the ice cream cake or her parents' words that made her more nauseated. I don't know, man. I didn't get to talk. I just watched a lot of TLC with my parents, and anytime I didn't understand something, they would explain it. So, yeah, and I was watching My Strange Addiction, you know. You learn real quick that you cannot make a baby with a car. There are lots of different scientific ways to make a baby. None of them are with a sex doll. Cool. This is what happens. Gina reached under her shirt and pulled out a freakishly realistic looking nude baby doll. Everyone gasped and exchanged shocked glances while their teacher hurried into the hall and returned with a playpen filled with crying toy babies. She gently placed hers inside the pen and smoothed out her shirt, which clung to her now flat Alba abs. Since I'm assuming you all know how babies are made, I'm going to spend this semester teaching you how to take care of them, she announced over the mounting hysterics coming from the playpen, which is no fun at all. Trust me. Especially when your husband and au pair leave you with twins so they can go diving in Fiji. You know, I'm thinking, like, editing-wise, what I want to put up here, if I want to put, like, an Adam Levine, a Ned Fulmer, whatever the hell Olivia Wilde is doing to Jason Sudeikis. Like, what the fuck is happening with John Mulaney? Men, you're on thin ice. I'm telling you. Thin ice. Skinty ice. Heroin chic ice. And you wife guys are already in the ice cold water. I'm going to spend this semester teaching you how to take care of them, which is no fun at all. Trust me. Especially, all the wife guys are on wife guy hell. Gina twisted open her half-liter bottle of Poland Spring water and took a long cleansing sip. Lucky for you, these babies are synthetic. But other than that, they will look, act, and sound and smell like the real thing. They cry, go to the bathroom, sleep, eat. They need to be held, changed, clothed, burped, loved. She shook a baby bottle filled with crumpled pieces of paper. Each doll has been implanted with a microchip that not only makes the baby act like a baby, but sends data to my computer, telling me how you are all responding to its needs. We will spend each class learning how to care for your children. The good news is there will be no tests. I will know how you are doing by logging into my Mac. Bad news is you will actually have to care for this baby all semester. Claire is super excited until Fumble and Bumble, Cam and Olivia, bop in. They're super cutesy together. They got one brain cell clocking in, and I do believe that Cam is holding it at all times. Like, Olivia went from being like dumb, like middle schooler, to me questioning if she needs intervention. Is there a brain cell clocking around up there? Bless her heart. She's stupid. She comes in. The teacher then brings around essentially 2 raffles. You pick how many kids you're gonna have and who's your parent. Elaine gets someone, and she has twins. Claire ends up pulling nothing or stepmom. So she ends up getting paired with Cam and Olivia, who have the baby. Olivia names this baby Cake. Throughout the book, there are many times where Olivia proves that she is not fit to be a parent, and honestly, no middle schooler is. But she is trying. You're not allowed to trade because you can't trade your babies in real life. What's up, my baby daddy? I hate Olivia so much. I hate her so much. In like the best way possible. She's blessed dumb. But they get... Claire has an anxiety attack, essentially, as the world blacks out around her, as she has to sit next to her co-parents. Olivia, bad mom, terrible mom. It's really bad. Kate then throws up cottage cheese all over Claire's back-to-school blouse, and Cam laughs at her, and Claire, of course, goes off to cry. Claire goes off to cry count 1 for this book, I think. It's only the first day of school. There's plenty of time. So I'd like to take this time to share my own fake baby experience. I got my fake baby in February of 2015, my senior year, or 2016, my senior year. And I had an actual real baby in my life to take care of. This literally could not have come at a worse time, because not only did I have a real baby to help take care of, but my laundry, my washer and dryer died. So while we waited for that to get repaired, I had to take my fake baby to a very real laundromat. And there were people there with my fake baby while I like did homework with it. And I was like, I gotta just go sit in this hot car. And I don't know if the fake baby didn't like being in the hot car. Maybe that was part of it. But fake baby and I had to go and be in public because it tracked everything. Ow! This one I'm not gonna have nails anymore. Whew. So I take fake baby home. More calamity strikes. I think I'm taking the best care of fake baby. It is not. It is. I actually think I did pretty good, but I did not sleep well that night because I had to keep waking up every 45 minutes to make sure the baby wasn't going to cry. Because when that baby cried, it would be loud enough to wake up the actual baby across the hall. So I had to be careful of that. And then I had to wake up early, like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, because I had to go deal with real life shit unrelated to me. So I was at school at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, and I did get to hang out with my friends. My friends did help take care of my baby. Shout out to Ethan, you rock. And I get to school, like, that was like a very traumatic day because I returned the fake baby and ended up having to take care of my real baby for like a week and a half because the justice system sucks. But I turned my baby back in because I had it like third block, so it was like pretty much through the whole day. Like, I'm doing like tests with the fake baby. Very lucky that my fake baby was quiet during most of my school day. Other people were not so lucky. They were like out in the hallway. But I got a 78. And I always felt really like, oh god, I really did a bad job on that. Looking back again, it must have been the hot car. But thinking back on it, there was a guy in my class. He was a football player. He was taking that class 4 credits. It was, you know how like colleges give their football players like African Clique studies, because not only is it racist, but no one's ever gonna check if they actually know it or not, or if they're just getting passed through because they're, you know, college athletes. That's essentially what he was doing with early childhood development, and he got a 2. He got a 2 on his fake baby. That story always tickles me. I hope he's doing well. Did not go to college. I don't think he did. I don't know anymore. But I had a fake baby. It was a traumatic experience due to a lot of things. The year was traumatizing as hell for me. 2016, other than the music and maybe summer of 2016, everything else sucked. Boo. No notes. Go to hell. I lost fucking 40 pounds that year. It was so sad. That's not important. So, yeah, she runs out of class. It's wild. So now it's time for the NPCs to gather themselves and sneak down to the bomb shelter that they work so hard for, and it's not easy being mean, and nearly lost and sealed with a disc. They get down there and all of their stuff has been removed. They're thinking, oh yeah, Sky just removed everything because it was unimportant. Well, I'm sorry. This is proof, again, does Claire cry counter. Do you think those racks of designer clothes will still be there? Kirsten asked, bouncing in her red platform Havanians. And what about the Starbucks machine Sky left for us? And all of her hard candy makeup. Alicia finger-combed her thick black hair. Get me to that buttered popcorn maker, Dylan licked her lips. Everyone glared at her with various expressions of mock doubt. What? It's low fat. Buttered popcorn is too low fat, as Kirsten's shark tooth Netflix is too valuable. Chided Alicia. Is to Alicia's boots are cool, responded Kirsten. Is to Claire is happy, Dylan joked. Is to Dylan's straight hair is natural, Claire managed. Everyone cracks up. They're all, God, they roast the hell out of each other. I love it, but I also truly think that they hate each other. They get there. The room is empty. There's a whiteboard covered in X's and O's and arrowed, and the beloved disco ball was covered with 5 yellowing gym socks. They're all losing their mind. They decide that they're going to make the best of it by just renovating it to their taste. They want, Puma vending machines and Pinkberry Froyo dispensers. Remember Mochi Frog? And all sorts of things. But now it's time to do the pledge. Everyone joined wrist. Massey held out her arms. Her best friend's initials glistened even in the darkest of times. Now close your eyes and repeat after me. From this moment on, I pledge the following to you. To rid my thoughts of boys, done and done, they are through. I'll focus on fashion, study new trends in beauty, strengthen my friendship, and tighten my body. You won't find me flirting or talking to guys, no texting, IMing, no batting my eyes. I'm above that now. Been there, done that. Time for the LBRs to have their turn at bat. Let them wear tight clothes and watch boring soccer. No offense, Kirsten. Let them laugh at dirty jokes. Let them be the gawkers. It's BFF time. No boys, not ever. Because BFF has a new meaning, and that's boy fast forever. So they do their prayer, and then someone comes in and they're panicked. Well, it's the boys' soccer team. And Darrington then comes in. They have some witty back and forth retorts, but Massey gets bested by him. She is hurt by this because he made her look stupid. Again, she is not really interested in him anymore, but she will not be slighted by some mere boy who wears shorts. So, it is the next day, and Alicia is gathering the courage to double-cross the NPC. They're all like, well, you know, we normally sit at table 18, but we're going to figure out how to get you to sit at table 2. Josh makes sure that they're going to beat them there, and, you know, you just got to pretend like it's an honest mistake. So, Alicia does her announcements, and then is like, oh my god, I was so distracted, I went and sat. And sits with the soccer boys just as Principal Byrne comes in and is like, alright, you hoes. The girls sit at table 3. Soccer boys sit at table 18. Principal Burns is like, alright, hoes. If you're seated at seats 1 through 10, get out of here. You know, Massey is pissed. Massey is pissed that she just got Ron DeSantis up to Martha's Vineyard. She's pissed. Without looking up, Alicia plopped down into an empty chair. Corey and Strawberry were on her left, laughing at Baby Kate, who was deposited in the middle of the table like one of the marzipan dove centipedes at Cindy Starr's bat mitzvah. Across the table, Olivia drew a skull tattoo on Cam's arm with yellow highlighter. To the right were Darrington, Kemp, Cam, Pulver, and Josh. Josh! He winked, and Alicia lowered her dark brown eyes, desperate for a place to hide, at least until her head stopped spinning. But that wasn't how they planned it. She was supposed to look surprised, shocked even, something other than ashamed. Or she'd never convinced Massey that the whole thing was an accident. But it was too late for theatrics. Her iPhone was buzzing. What are you doing over there? Alicia's mouth went dry as she tapped away at her screen. Was she really doing this? Last time I checked, this was our table. What are you doing over there? You didn't see me waving? Alicia craned her head until she spotted Massey at the very front of the room by the steely kitchen doors. No! She mouthed. Even from the distance, Alicia could feel angry hate rays shooting from Massey's amber eyes. Which is why I'm pleased to announce that we have created a charming little overflow facility for some very lucky students. Alicia lifted her eyes and met Josh's. His relaxed grin seemed to say, don't worry, this is going to be great. Wanting to believe him, she blinked in agreement. So will everyone seated at tables 1 through 10 please gather your stuff and follow Miss Dunkel and Mr. Herman to your new home. Delicious snack boxes will be available to you for lunch, courtesy of Subway. So enjoy! The boys at table 18 punched the sky and high-fived each other as if the Tomahawks had just scored the winning goal of the season. Olivia, Corey, and Strawberry snickered annoyingly into their palms, but Alicia remained seated and serious, unsure how to feel. She could hear Massey and the rest of the NPCs shouting, unfair, illegal, tricked, duped, and lawsuit over the building's crescendo of voices in the new green cafe, but she didn't dare look their way. Alicia's head remained down, focused on the pleats in her skirt, until the entire front section of the cafeteria had been cleared out, and her best friends were gone. So, Miss Dunkel's like, here you go, this is where you're going to be in the trailers. There's a fun reference to Kid Nation, a Nickelodeon show, where the kids are living in this, like, Midwestern prospector town, Old West prospector town, where they're left to fend for themselves, and, like, they have to kill a chicken, like, on screen. Very traumatizing for some of these children. There are children who are, like, vegetarians and stuff, and they all have different ideas of what's moral and how they should institute their laws. You know, people who think that that's the deep part. You know, are they gonna go Lord of the Flies and all that? Girls are sent to the overflow room, which turns out to be portables on Glamorous. And you might be thinking, like, these kids' parents are paying like $500,000 and they're still getting sent to goddamn overflow into a, oh lord, they're getting sent to do overflow in a portable Manila in a wedge. Okay, so now that Massey is not in the main building, she is spiraling, panic attacking. How can she be alpha from all the way out there? Is she even alpha? Are the boys going to be the new alphas? It is to the point where she faints momentarily. It's bad. It's like overstimulating her, like the sound of the dripping, the Lane who never shuts up and is always just, it's just a lot. She's going through a lot. Massey goes about nicknaming the new LBRs because she now has to be aware of them, but, you know, she's never going to give them real names. The only LBRs that we have names for is Lane, Mina, Heather, and maybe another friend? I don't know. But here are our LBRs of the portables. Okay, so LBRs. LBRs and their new names. Description: no upper lip, wide set black eyes, gray sweatsuit, looks like a shark, great white. Overly rosy complexion covered in a million tiny bumps. Braille bait. Wild, frizzy, shoulder-length hair, a loofah. Super dry hands, perma-curled into fists. Me though. Me. Monkey paw. Light fuzzy sideburns. Blonde Lincoln. Carries books in plastic CVS bag. Bag hag. Chunky goth girl who wears too much MAC makeup. Big Mac. Black-haired guy with cute potential but has yellow teeth. Candy corn. Very pale guy. Powder. Pink chubby girl. Putty. Super tall thin guy with red hair. Always blushing. Twizzler. So yeah, she is not well. Super unwell. She passes the list to the rest of the NPC. They are now informed. Everyone will be referred to as these nicknames as going forward. Come on, everyone, she shouted. We have a chance to start something really great in here. Who's with me? Overflow! 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 It's Lane, again, protesting. Moments later, everyone was standing on their desk, rocking the trailer with LBR spirit. Massey grabbed her bag. Let's get out of here before we catch something. The NPC hurried to their feet. Where are you guys going? Asked Big Mac. Yeah, you can't leave, insisted Blonde Lincoln. We're in this together. You're like one of us now, Loofah beamed. Those were the last words before Massey heard before she blacked out. So we're back to Alicia's point of view. It's after school. Okay. Actually, I'd make the same mistake twice. Alright, so we're back to Alicia's point of view. She's in swim class, not realizing that now she would have to share swim class with the boys. A point that I didn't make clear before is that all of your classes are now overflow classes. I guess they just fucking nixed swim class for Claire and Lane. Claire definitely doesn't have to go back to that health class, I guess. She's gonna get credit for a different health class. I don't know. It's so weird and really dense. It's Greek to me, honestly. But Alicia's in her swim class alone with the even pretty committee of Revenge of the Wannabes. Cool, that's just me. Alright, she's kind of nervous because she doesn't have her guard dog Massey to kind of distract from her body with a put down or, jab or mean-spirited thing. She's still very self-conscious about her breasts. And she's like, I do not want to take off my cover up. So she essentially goads Josh into pushing / pulling her into the pool. And because she's already wet, she doesn't feel the need to take off the cover up and thus gets to stay not naked. We have a Kate section. Cam and Kate were blowing up a pair of tiny pink water wings, held their fingers to show that the teacher that they would be in as soon as they could. Besides, it wasn't like Livy had any reason to stall. Her lemon yellow, juicy one piece popped against her buttery brown skin, and her legs had been freshly shaven and slicked with glitter-infused body oil, and she stood there with the carefree confidence of someone who knew they looked hot. Don't care about that part. Aside from Cam and Olivia, who had been granted unofficial permission to dress baby Kate, Alicia and John were the only ones outside of the pool left dry. There was no way Alicia was going to take off her cover-up. Cam finally slipped in the water, mindful not to splash baby Kate, whose arm was in Olivia's mouth as she slowly lowered herself into the water via the ladder. Baby Kate burst into hysterics and squirmed to free herself. I don't know how realistic these babies are. Olivia, take her out of your mouth, Cam shouted as he side-stroked his way to his rubber child's side. Olivia released her canine grip, and Kate fell into the water. You can't just drop her like that, Cam shrieked. Why? Olivia dismissed her overprotective baby daddy with an eye roll. She's wearing wings. All I can think about is those videos of people dropping their babies into places and making sure that they can float. But I know this is totally different. She's just like, oh, and this baby around. The NPCs are like, hey, I'm really surprised that you weren't sitting with Massey today. Are you two fighting? And she's like, no. And she's like, well, it seems like you two are. And she's just like, oh, well, it's a good thing Josh is so dreamy or this would suck. Is Massey mad at Alicia? It's after school. They're back at the Rap Star Diner that we were introduced to in It's Not Easy Being Me, which feels so long ago because I essentially took fucking 2 months to read these books. These are 2 books. There's technically 3 books, but my brain calloused from July. But yeah, from It's Not Easy Being Me, and we are introduced there. Okay, so we were waiting for Alicia to show up. Claire catches Alicia wearing Josh's New York Yankee hat, but she keeps it to herself. It's also horrifically ugly. Claire saw the Yankee cap. A girl standing across the tree-lined street caught her attention. Like Alicia, she was wearing a white pleated tennis skirt, green platform sandals, and a white short-sleeved button-down with a cute little tie. But this girl, she was wearing a bright pink New York Yankees cap, and Alicia would never. The girl took off her cap and jammed it to the bottom of her leather bag. She waved goodbye to someone in the distance, looked both ways, and then power walked across the busy intersection. It was Alicia, the only person who refused to run even while dodging SUVs during rush hour. Alicia comes in and is like, guys, that's crazy what happened. Crazy what happened. It's the opposite of amazing that we got separated, Alicia pouted. I was freaked out when I looked up and saw that I was at the wrong table. I wanted to get over you guys, but Dean Dawn was totally staring me down because I came in late. I'm totally gonna have my dad sue the school for keeping us apart, and we'll use the money to buy a new... Why didn't you just ask if he could be with us? Massey folded her arms firmly across her chest. 3 preppy 8th grade boys scrolled past their table on their way to the jukebox, jingling quarters and chugging cokes from a glass bottle. They slowed down to check out the girls who all lowered their head to avoid breaking NPC protocol. Well, at first I thought you might want me to stay. Alicia tried, to have someone on the inside, keeping you up to date on all the gossip. Massey rolled her eyes. But then I decided it was a lame idea. Alicia absentmindedly glancing towards the window as if she was waiting for someone. I'm gonna try and switch tomorrow. Claire slipped fast between Alicia's bad acting and Massey's doubting across the table glare. She was seconds away from crawling under the table, rocking back and forth and pray whispering for everyone to please get along. Again, Claire, get it together. At this point, it has been acknowledged by Lacey that she has built a chronically, absolutely neurotic character. Get this girl a goddamn Xanax so she can enjoy the fun years of her life. The girls all, try and loop back together their parents' various money and influences to get, them back into the main school building. When the ex-crushes appear, Darrington throws some barbs at Massey. Massey is, absolutely no, we are not doing this anymore. It's boy fast or bust. It's supposed to bring the girls closer, cutting out the boys, but it seems to only be pulling them apart. Who would have known that it would be a bad idea for hormone-driven teenage girls to not be able to act on their hormones, not for the sake of safety or the, corroboration through their parents trying to make sure that they're safe, but because their friend told them to arbitrarily. So the next morning, it's windy and rainy and cold and uncomfortable, and they're at Massey's at the trailer with a Red Bull and a cute little outfit when a local news team led by Winky Porter comes and does a little interview. This interview does not pan out the way Massey would have wanted it to, as all sorts of things are happening in the background that detract from her point, as Massey is just there to, gather her superstardom and to make herself look good. And that is what happens, folks, when a sister school reaches out to help her fallen brethrens. It's a valuable lesson we could all take something from. Isn't it exciting? Stumple squealed with delight. So Massey tries to, turn it into a positive, make it exclusive, but it is. Winky strolled away from the trailers towards NPC. And now let's meet some of the selfless students at Briarwood, Octavian Day. Oh my god, okay. And let's meet some of the selfless students at Briarwood Octavian Country Day School who were willing to give up their cushy classrooms and move into the overflow units until a solution is found. What about being cool? Claire grumbled, but Massey didn't have time to explain the difference between fab and follower. She grabbed the bottom of Winky's mic and tilted it down towards her glossy mouth. Hi, I'm Massey Block. Hi, Macy, Winky smiled. Dylan, actually, it's Massey. Like sassy. Of course, Winky's smile flatlined. So tell us, what's it like packing up your books and leaving your glamorous school behind for a couple of trailers? This is a special group. Massey smoothed her blowing hair for the camera, one that has no problem making sacrifices for the common good. In the background, those things are death traps, shouted Monkey Paws, her hands clenched in tight fists as she ran in circles, screaming something about the dangers of metal and electrical storms. Get that, Winky shouts at her cameraman. He turned away from Massey before she could stop him and began rolling on Monkey Paws. Got it. He swiveled back and repositioned his eyes against the black rubber viewfinder. Winky licked her teeth clean of any possible lipstick smudges and then counted herself back in. Going to tape in 1, 2, 3. She pointed at Massey, the enormous monogrammed Louis Vuitton steamer trunk. Just a few of my favorite textbooks. Massey folded her bare goosebump-covered arms across her chest. Wow, you must have a lot of favorites, Winky oversmiled. Can we see some of them? Massey turned around and glanced at her friends who were now giggling into their palms. Before she could dream up an excuse, the cameraman crouched down on one knee, focusing on the trunk. Massey had no choice but to open it. She popped the gold hinges and lifted the heavy lid. Packed with 6 vanilla-scented candles, 2 bottles of Perel, 3 soft white glare-free light bulbs, 5 glass bottles of Lactimian cherry blossom room spray, 8 nuts all over chocolate lunar bars, oh my god, and 4 old denim skirts she'd asked Inez to sew into window treatments, all of which were necessary if she planned on surviving in the stinky trailers without passing out. Not that Winky needed to know any of that. Oh my gosh, my books! I must have grabbed the wrong Louis when I left. The clouds turned black, thunder roared, and suddenly the sky dumped rain. My hair! Dylan shouted, struggling to pull her Chanel raincoat out from the side pocket of her suitcase. It's going to curl! Oh my god, my shirt is soaked. Kirsten threw her arms around Claire's back in a desperate attempt to keep her dripping clothes off the nightly news. Ew! Claire wiggled. You're wet. Get off me. I have mascara in my eyes, screamed Big Mac. It burns! She rubbed her sleeve of her soaked jean jacket across her face, smudging MAC makeup all over her cheeks until it looked like she'd run headfirst into a wet oil painting. Everyone inside, Miss Dunkel called from the open door. Hurry! No way! Screeched Monkey Paws. That thing's gonna blow. My books! They're totally gonna get soaked, screeched Candy Corn, his yellow teeth chattering as he dragged his wheelless suitcase under the trailer. Twizzler, Putty, Powder, Blonde Lincoln, Braillebait, Loofah, Great White, and the Bag Hag immediately did the same. Lane, Heather, and Mina, shrouded in matching green trash bags, joined hands, spun in a gleeful circle, and sang Singing in the Rain. So these are my best friends. Matthew turned to yank Claire, Kirsten, and Dylan from the camera, but they were gone. Winky pity grinned and then shouted above the teeming rain, How about we take a look inside the real school, just to see how the others are coping? The bald guy swiftly lowered his camera. Winky flicked off her mic. Without a single goodbye or thank you, they sprinted across the parking lot towards the Regal Stone building, as if their lives depended on it. So Alicia is in between periods when Winky Porter comes out and is like, oh god, yeah. And she's like, I'm BOCD's main announcer, main correspondent, so I'm like the anchor woman here and I'd love to talk to you. So she does. And again, trigger warning, ableism. We are getting into this shit. Alright. Hi, I'm Alicia Rivera, BOCD's anchor woman. I love your shoes. Are they Manolos? Indeed they are. Then she gave Alicia a firm handshake. Nice to meet you. We're doing a piece on how OCD and Briarwood have joined together. She swiped a blood-red Shoe Irma lipstick across her mouth, then dabbed the excess on a silver double-knit wrapper she had in the pocket of her cream-colored pantsuit. I'll take that. Okay, I can cut that. Thank you. Winky muttered, we better get started before we lose everyone. She half nodded at her cameraman, who immediately handed her the mic. You like baby hand as baby hand to mouth or baby shoulder to mouth? Let me know in the comments. I'm standing in the dry halls of BOCD, surrounded by the beautiful students who were lucky enough to hold onto their spots in the most prestigious learning institution on the East Coast. No trailers and rainstorms for them, Winky announced. And here to tell us why all these kids made the cut is BO's own anchor woman. Hi, I'm Alicia Rivera. I can't say for sure why some of us got to stay and others had to go. All I do know is that we really appreciate the sacrifice they made for us. You have no idea how cramped and crowded it was in here. It got so bad that the lady at the organic coffee station and New Green Cafe actually had to stop giving people foam on their lattes because the lines were so long. It was brutal. Winky suddenly appeared by Alicia's side, gripping a second mic. Do you think the overflowers feel discriminated against? No. I heard from one of my sources that they think it's super cool. She made air quotes around the super cool, so everyone would know how much she was citing her sources. Why do they think it so much? Winky asked, do you think they enjoy the feeling of helping others? Whatevs. It's not like they did it to help anyone. They were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Alicia blurted out and then worried she might have unintentionally blown some kind of press spin Massey had cooked up for herself, like a hero. Some of those students seem really happy, Winky argued. 3 of them were literally wearing trash bags and singing in the rain. This time Alicia knew she couldn't possibly be referring to the NPC. I think they feel safe out there. No one can pick on them. It's better for everyone. So those people were sent away because they're less popular? Winky's expression was a mix of shock and elation, like someone who had just grabbed a wrong handbag by accident and found it full of cash. Is that what you're saying? Just then, someone snuck up behind Alicia and tugged on her ponytail. She whipped around, ready to bark at whoever dared to interrupt her during an interview, then saw the adorable crush. Cam and Olivia were beside him, trying desperately to quell Kate's latest tantrum. "And who is this?" Winky gushed over the baby. "This is Kate." Olivia gripped the screaming baby behind the neck and waved her around in front of the camera. "Isn't she cute? I named her after Kate Spade because she loves sleeping in my purse." The doll cried harder. Winky crinkled her penciled-on eyebrows in confusion. "Where's the pacifier?" Cam searched the pockets of his Hurleys. "How about this?" Olivia forced a pink lip gloss-stained straw into Kate's mouth and then tried to coax her into sipping some Diet Coke. The final bell rang. "Aren't they adorable together?" Alicia asked, anxious to know whether Winky approved of her friends, whether she thought they passed for alphas, whether she thought Alicia was talented enough to be mistaken for their leader. "I totally approve. They are the best parents, I swear. And the cutest couple, don't you think?" "They are attractive," Winky gushed for the camera. Alicia grinned with delight. "But not as attractive as us." Josh threw his arm around Alicia's shoulder, then flicked the brim of her hat. He raced off to class before Alicia could swat back at him. "Oh, well, you better get going." Yeah. They got what they needed. Alicia scribbles down her email address on a sheet of notepaper and hands it to the anchor woman. Alicia is so on cloud 9. She's like, but this could end badly because what if someone sees this from what if one of the girls from the camp sees it? And she's like, but no one watches the local news. It's not like it's CNN. Well, of course. Massey is now hosting a viewing party of the local news to see their little spot. They come over and they sat and they watched and they read magazines and chit-chat and sat in the jacuzzi until it was time. All Claire could think about is Cam and Olivia. God, she's so boring. Her chapters are so transitory. We're literally moving through the story through her and not hearing really anything of substance from her because all she can think about is how sad she is about her boyfriend. Holy cannoli. "You know, it might not be a good idea to watch this," Alicia offered. "Fact, a lot of celebrities don't watch themselves ever. They think it's a bad look and it depresses them. And that's why there's so many good actors become directors, because they're too embarrassed to go on camera again after they've seen themselves." Kirsten cackled. "That's not true." "It is." Alicia lifted her palm as if swearing in court. Shh. A shot of the darkening parking lot filled the screen. Soda cans and empty chip bags blew across the frame. The lens pulled back, revealing Winky Porter, hair slicked, makeup matte, and a bright smile gleaming. Her cream-colored slacks whipped against her toned calves, revealing the shiny points on her gray pumps. The scene looked like a storm update from the Midwest. And then Winky, leaned against the dirty white trailers, began shouting above the whistling wind. "Winky Porter here to bring you the heartwarming story of sacrifice, generosity, and love. It all started when Briarwood Academy crumbled to the ground last May, leaving hundreds of students stranded without a school. That is until Octavian Country Day opened its doors and hearts and took them in. But many of them, that's where the real problem began." A shot up to the main building. The halls were crowded with students racing from one class to the other. But Alicia, who was strolling like a window shopper's pace, seemed to have all the time in the world. It got so bad, the lady at the organic coffee station in the New Green Cafe stopped giving people foam on their lattes because the lines were so long. Massey smacked the armrest on the leather couch. "Oh my God, you're in this?" "I guess." Alicia peeled back a layer of Matador red nail polish off her thumb. "What's up with the hat?" You hate sports. And pink, Dylan added suspiciously. And sports, Kirsten giggled. Where'd you get it, Massey huffed. Don't say Spain. Even they know better. So what's the school situation? Trailers, used trailers, in the parking lot. She paused to let that sink in with the home audience. Kirsten and Dylan cheered, but Claire was all too well of the mounting tension between Alicia and Massey to join in. The angry, invisible forces was spiraling around them, building and strengthening like a tornado, and Claire was trapped in the middle. One can't help but wonder how the faculty decides who stays and who goes. What criteria did they use to make their decision, and was their decision fair? Or was it a convenient way to rid the school of its special needs students? Alicia Riviera, BOCD's anchorwoman, had some insights. No one will ever pick on them. It's better for everyone. Dylan swiveled around in their leather club chair and faced the couch, practically spitting out her strawberry tea. What? No one will pick on us? You made us sound like LBRs. Kirsten clenched her fist. They twisted my words, Alicia shouted at the scream. Do you think the boys are watching? Claire couldn't help herself. Uh-oh. Alicia gripped her stomach and raced for the bathroom in the back of the spa. Bad sushi. Winky's expression on TV became serious. Let's see if these trailers are indeed better for everyone. The shot to the parking lot, a bolt of lightning struck behind one of the trailers and everyone screamed. Those things are death traps, shouted Monkey Paws, her hands clenched in tight fists as she ran in circles. That thing's gonna blow! The sky turned black, a crash of thunder sounded, and then sheets of blinding rain fell. My hair! Dylan shouted. Oh my god, my shirt is see-through, Kirsten rushed behind Claire. Ew, get off me! I have mascara in my eyes, screamed Big Mac. It burns! Candy Corn, Twizzler, Putty, Blonde Lincoln, Braille Bake, Great White, and Bag Hag were dragging their heavy suitcases in a mad panic that seemed to have been sped up by the editors to look even more frantic than it was. Then it cut to Massey. These are my best friends, she smiled proudly as a shot of Lane, Mina, and Heather, dressed in their matching green trash bags bellowing, singing in the rain, filled the screen. What? Massey screamed so loud Bean jumped off the couch and hid under the Stairmaster. I so did not mean they were my best friends. Oh my god. She fell back into the leather couch and buried her face in her shaking hands. But Winky wouldn't stop. Not exactly the best environment for kids with special needs. Not that the students in the main building seemed to care. Special needs? Everyone shouted at once. For them, it was business as usual. A shot of Cam and Olivia tending to a baby Kate filled the screen. Aren't they adorable, Alicia guessed? The cutest couple, don't you think? Claire slid to the edge of the couch. Why would she say that? They are attractive, Winky had to agree. The room spun. Claire's throat locked, her stomach lurched. But not as attractive as us. Josh threw his arm around Alicia's shoulders, then flicked the brim of her pink cap, which just so happened to match his blue one. The bell rang and everyone raced off to class. Winky began to stroll the empty halls. What started as an uplifting story of brotherly love ended up in a tragic expose of what can happen when society strives for physical and mental perfection. We tend to dismiss those who are different and afraid that they may shine a light on our own special needs. A force of us to face the ugliness that lives deep inside each and every one of us. But carting them off to trailers is not the solution. In fact, it's the problem. A problem we cannot ignore. I'm Winky Porter. Back to you in the studio, Greg. Everyone has questions about all the different things Alicia said. Massey's like, you made us look like LBRs. And she's like, no, I didn't. They edited to look like that. And they're like, are you sure? Are you sure? So, Dylan, Massey, and Kirsten try to comfort Claire about the whole Cam thing, but they are all pissed. And what was Massey stuffed her hands in the side pocket of her skinny Hudson jeans and ambled pointedly across the back of the couch like a cowgirl. And what was that with the hat? It was a dare. Alicia took a few steps back. Corey found and lost and found, and stop lying. Massey shouted, her voice cracked like she might cry. Claire focused on the white sheepskin area rug on the dark stained floors. If Massey was going to tear up, she really didn't want to see it. Witnessing that degree of emotional vulnerability from her alpha was like watching a hot boy pick his nose. Deep down, she knew it happened, but it was easier to pretend like it didn't. I had a feeling you'd Alicia'd your way into the main building to be with Josh, but I didn't want to believe it. Wait, you don't understand. Actually, I do. Massey stepped closer until they were practically nose to nose behind the couch. She held out her palm. Don't. You don't. All my life, boys always liked me. They thought I was super pretty or that I had good style. But for the first time ever, Josh likes me for me, and I like him. I've never liked a guy back, and now that I finally do, you make up this boy fast. And Massey opened her palm and wiggled her fingers. Come on. Alicia stomped her foot. It's so not fair. You all had a shot at love. It's not my fault you messed... She stopped herself just in time. All I'm saying is that I finally had a chance to be happy and I didn't want to choose between... But you did. You did choose. And you chose him. Now hand it over. Acting. Grammy. Alicia cried as she unhooked the bracelet from her wrist and slapped it into Massey's open palm. The rest of the NPC lowered their gazes. Everyone, please remove your charmed A's. That was a bad line read. Everyone, please remove your A charms, Massey said flatly, and throw them into the fire. You guys. Alicia held out her arms and sobbed as she tried to appeal to Claire, Dylan, Kirsten for help. But the girls did what they were told. One by one, they pulled off their A's and threw them into the angry orange flames. Even Claire, who had once sympathized with Alicia, no longer did. Her comments about Cam and Olivia made it impossible. Now get out! Come on, you guys. No one looked at her. Fine! Alicia wiped her tears on the back of her hand and scooped up her black Balenciaga. So yeah, that's how we get her out. Much less psychologically damaging than happened here, because that was traumatic. Like, I was like, am I gonna regret this? Alicia immediately regrets it. So the next day, 9/11, and honestly, after yesterday evening being Massey's personal 9/11, did I put my mirror back in there? I did. Okay. So after her personal 9/11, Massey's like, I gotta figure this fucking shit out. How to, gotta brainstorm how I'm going to make this work for me. Tries to make the best of it there, but it's so nasty. And Lane, Mina, and Heather are being LBRs all over the place, and it's not happening. She's like trying to talk to people, but she's just feeling very overwhelmed. There's like a dripping sound. It's cold. It's stinky. It's just very, like sense-wise, very overwhelming. So, Massey meets this guy, and remember I told you about this kid who got named. Well, his name is Dempsey. Dempsey Solomon, I believe. And he's one of Lane's friends, but he's starting to go through puberty, so he's less chubby. He spent the summer working on building houses in a third world country. Massey is not concerned with that. So Dempsey is one of Lane's friends who was building houses in Nicaragua or something, and he's come back a little bit late. I think it might have actually been Bali. It was weird. But he comes back and he's able to verbally spar with Massey, and Massey feels her heart a bit to flutter over a boy. Putty raced for his seats as if competing in a cutthroat game of musical chairs. The NPC concealed their spray bottles and raced to their desks. The plywood door squeaked open. "Is this the 8th grade trailer?" asked a caramel blonde boy with army green eyes and the kind of deep, rich tan that requires a passport. His loose safari shirt fell open across the top of his charmingly wrinkled docks, and his biceps flexed when he adjusted the distressed mocha satchel slung across his chest. If Bindi the Jungle Girl had invented an imaginary boyfriend, it'd be this guy. I mean, I guess her younger brother wasn't as widely known, but it's very weird to just be like, if Bindi was gender bent. Not even if Bindi was gender bent. They're like, if she could think of a boy, it would be this boy. Whatever. I'm getting caught up in the weeds of it all. Every girl stared. Every boy shifted in his chair. Massey turned away for fear he'd melt her mascara. "Dempsey-do!" Lane shouted. "Laney-poo!" Dimple sliced his cheeks like a blade of hatchet. He raced over to give his old friend a warm hug. Oh my god. Is that Humpty Dempsey? Imposs. Important. So Massey starts to have warning bells in her brain because she's supposed to be on a boy fast, but he is looking quite edible. So she's having a moment in her brain. Wee-woo, wee-woo, intruder, intruder, intruder. He was an LBR. He might relapse. Don't fall for it. You're on a boy fast. He's friends with Lane. He likes the trailers. He uses words like firecracker. Intruder, intruder, intruder. Wee-woo, wee-woo, wee-woo. Massey hit snooze on her mental alarm. This adorable but off-limits intruder was actually motivating. Not because his work in African slums. Ew, no. But because he shed his LBR skin in a single summer. Without the help of a stylist or nutritionist. And everyone was inspired by a good comeback story. Even alphas. The boy's name also starts with a D, and I feel like that's probably going to have some implications for the future books, because there's no way that that's like a coincidence. Because even in her State of the Union, In is leaking roofs, digging Dempsey on the DL, Claire, Kirsten, and Massey, and what's out is leaking gossip, despising Darrington and Alicia. So Massey's sitting at home after school, and they have a Girls Like Us GLU meeting. They're sad without Alicia being there because Ina is the housekeeper, still made Alicia's favorite snack. As we sit and wait, I really love this chapter, and I'm probably going to end up reading a lot about her. But we also get to learn, essentially they bring on Dylan's mom, image consultant, that essentially was brought on to help change the image of the portables. For she's gonna fix the actual interior and exterior of the problem, and then she's going to make it something exclusive, something that people want to be a part of. You have to sell it as exclusive first before it's actually wantable. We get to learn that apparently Dylan's mom had $275,000 worth of plastic surgery done on, which Kirsten and Claire, as poor people, cannot seem to comprehend. While Effie's giving this speech, Claire is trying to figure out how to turn all this information that she's getting into getting Cam back, or at least getting back at Cam. So without further ado, I welcome Miss Effie James to Girls Like Us headquarters. Massey led a second round of applause as she switched places with the new image consultant. How great is this bag? How great is this bag, by the way? Effie rubbed the wrinkled brown paper sack as if it was made out of kitten fur. Wrinkled brown paper sack. Oh, yep. The natural color goes with everything, and it fits way more than a Birkin. It's going to be huge this spring. Who makes it? Dylan asked, Tiffany's silver pen in hand. Jorgen, she blurted as if it should have been obvious. You know, that albino Dutch designer? Given. Claire had practically heard Alicia saying, and for a brief moment felt bad that she was missing this. It was exactly the kind of thing Alicia lived for. New designer bags and a mysterious guest who promised to make them more popular than they already were. You should see how many people at Fashion Week stopped me, wanting to know where I got it. She carefully set her Jorgen on the marble mantle, away from the hungry fire. But I said somewhere in Europe. Effie snickered. Let Giselle and Tyra get on the waiting list like the rest of the world. I only leak to clients, and now you girls are my clients. She pulled her blonde ponytail over her shoulder and stroked the ends. Without hesitation, they jolted Jorgen on white and navy embossed block estate napkins, with intentions of pre-ordering as soon as the meeting was over. Claire knew that she'd never be able to afford the Dutch designer, and had to admit that the design was a little awkward for a high-end tote. But she wrote his name down anyway. That way, in 2 years, when the knockoffs hit H&M, she'd remember to pick one up. Enough about bags. It's time for business. The game we are about to play is all about perception. She paused, allowing this to sink in. It's about making people want what you have, even if you have It's about making people want what you have, even if what you have is no better than a wrinkled bag from Whole Foods. She gripped her Jorgen and shook it out in front of their faces in a gotcha sort of way. They gasped. Effie dumped out 3 cans of Rockstar, then tossed the empty bag into the fire. See how easy it was for me to make you think a 2-cent piece of paper was the hottest thing ever? The girls remained speechless as the flames gobbled up the precious Jorgen. Massey crumpled her napkin. I knew, she mouthed. Me too. It's about how you represent, or represent, as I like to say. We have to make those snots in the building think your dumpy overflow trailers are it. It's extreme home makeover to the extreme. Effie tilted back her head and gulped down another Rockstar. If we do our jobs right, which, she curtsied, we will, everyone will be fighting to be in those trailers, but they will belong to you. She lifted her over-tweezed brows, slightly asking if they understood. The NPC nodded, assuring her that they did. Effie continued, and that's where the power lies. Those snots will want what you have. They'll want to be you. But since they can't be you, they'll want to be around you. And that, my friend, is called having it. So yeah. All Claire gets out of this is, if what Effie said was true, Claire could represent herself to Cam as someone who had moved on to something better. That way he'd want her again. All she had to do was 1. Find a cute boy. 2. Make her like her. 3. Somehow leak the news to Cam. 4. Prove that she has it. 5. Figure out what it is and make sure not to lose it. 6. Watch Cam sweat. And of course, she would have to find a way to pull off these steps 1 through 6 without 1. Breaking the boy fast rules, and 2. Getting kicked out of the NPC. So while this is happening, Alicia is watching Olivia, Strawberry, and Corey. She's watching the boys skate and is absolutely bored out of her skull. Because she likes to hang out with her friends, read girly magazines, and shop, and get massages, and do nails, and get spray tans. And she is doing none of that. Because she has to hang out with these hargadurgs. Olivia is too dumb to gossip with, and Corey and Strawberry have their own faults, like Corey thinking that a Bat's Mitzvah suit is, TV ready. Alicia is serving cunt, and the rest of these girls are serving UTI. So it is just not a good place for her to be in. She immediately has regretted her decision. In Revenge of the Wannabes card, Alicia is at least actively vying for power. She wants it. She thinks that she can handle being an alpha, and then is immediately knocked on her ass when it's not as easy as just wearing the pretty clothes and being a pretty girl. It's more than that. Now she's like, I didn't even want to be alpha. I just wanted to like a boy, and here I am getting shat in the face for it because my friend, they tried to unilaterally exact power over me, and I pushed back, and now I'm in pain. Technically, she did kind of snafu her friends, but her friends snafu'd her first. So who's truly in the wrong? Much to think about. So now, Alicia must decide if risking it all for love was worth it. So it's been a weekend since the Effie meeting, and now they get to school. It's been a whole weekend, and now they check on the portable. They gather because they find out that she has spent $6,871. They come in to see what this bad bitch did to the portables, and she essentially ended up making them into this, like, gaudy Tiffany box kind of situation. You know, I think this is truly the book where Lisi's really kind of getting into her, like, over-the-topness of, like, what is possible through the power of money. As far as what she did. Just, you know, doing whatever. This is a long one. I apologize. Also, Effie's, like, on top of the building. Massey dabbed at her misting eyes with the corner of her brown metallic pinstriped halter dress. It's exactly how I sketched it, and I honestly can't believe. Her new iPhone vibrated. She thumbed the touchscreen and retrieved her new text message. You like? Love it. Thanks times 1,000. Thank you. Go inside. About to. She clapped her phone shut. That's not how that works. That's not how Let's check out her cell phone vibrated. Cute dress, by the way. Love the shimmer pinstripes. Who makes it? What? Massey searched the thin gray branches of the surrounding trees as if Effie might be perched on a limb, petting a squirrel with one hand and texting with the other. Effie, Ruth. Massey turned toward... Oh my god. I'm gonna really try. I'm gonna try. Massey turned towards Beau CD's sprawling stone main building and looked up. Oh my gosh. Effie was looking like the letter L in the size 8 font, was dressed in all black, waving binoculars over her head, rescue me style. Making sure everything goes right. Thanks. Going in now. Enjoy. Sandals on, Massey ordered, letting the NPC up the red velvet covered staircase. Claire wobbled slightly as she fastened her yellow marked Jacob wedges. She grabbed the plush banister to steady herself. It feels just like the inside of the box her charm bracelets came in. That's the whole point. Massey reached for the bumpy white glitter covered door handle. Aren't you happy I made you cute today? Claire glanced down at the trust fund green lace juicy blouse, and dark cropped Hudson's Massey had Ina's delivered to the guest house this morning. Totally. Massey took a deep breath and opened the door and stepped inside, then exhaled. Oh my god. Why did you do that? I don't know. But you know, every surface had been covered in something shimmery, which reflected sunlight-soaked kisses in their eyes. White fluffy cotton covered the walls, and red velvet lined the ceiling and floors. This is how diamonds must feel all the time. It's so cashmeric. And these are also gemtastic, Kirsten marveled at the 3 rows of mirrored desks that gleamed like unclasped tennis bracelets. Lift the top. Massey bit her lower lip in anticipation. Oh my god, it's a vanity, Kirsten said to her reflection. And look at the chairs. Everyone slid into padded white recliners. Nothing's tackier and more 2000s than a recliner. Like, not every chair needs to recline. Get it together. Your feet don't need to always be up. Sit on the ground. You're not getting enough blood flow. Everyone slid into padded white recliners, inspired by the massage pedicure chairs at Golden Nails, and flipped open their desks, locking the tops in vertical position with the silver hook. Inside the velvet-lined cubbies were solar cell phone chargers and metallic mesh makeup caddies stuffed with Sephora products. Massey scanned the inventory. Sugar, Travel Tan Face Bronzer, La Octane 100% Pure Shea Butter Hand Cream, Doo-Wop Lip Balm, Lancome's Juicy Tubes, Cherry Bust, Copacabana Exotic Kiss, and Dreamsicle. 1 ounce petite perfumes. Prada, Bobbi Brown's Beach, Kiehl's Cucumber Oil, and Chanel's Mademoiselle. Frederic Fredericka Glossing Hair Cream, Evian Face Mist. It was all there. The boys' desks are stocked with Gatorade, Axe deodorant, Axe body spray, Altoids, and Crest white strips, she announced. So awesome. Kirsten said to the mirrored cutout of the stars and moons and snowflakes that hung from the ceiling with thin, iridescent threads known to fashion insiders as lurex. I sketched that, and here it is. I can't believe it. She twirled like a kid in a Christmas blizzard, mesmerized by the light reflecting off her mobile and onto the cotton-covered walls. This was my idea. Claire knocked the white wall-mounted dry erase board that replaced the ugly green chalkboard. Instead of a chalk, Miss Dunkel can use these. She held up a bouquet of bright-colored markers. This is just like a little girly fantasy. Like, I just had the moment when I was reading the bit about Olivia, where Olivia was wearing, like, body shimmer to be in swim class. And the Clique books are, in theory, like, I think this genre of book, like, girly media about rich girls, specifically, in this, like, especially the Clique, I haven't read Gossip Girl, obviously, but I feel like this is essentially the fantasy in which the crux is every cool girly thing you saw in the store, you know, the body glitter things that smelled like grapes, the Bath and Body Works body glitters, you know, every hair clip, every, you know, extension with purple streaks, every Glossip Girl lip gloss, you know, everything, makeup item, cosmetics, skincare that you could see. These girls have it and they are using it. Not just having it and staring at it and being like, maybe one day. No, these girls are using it. And I think that's very cathartic, where you're like, this is literally like the window shopping, and then you're like, oh, but I could do X, Y, and Z with it. That's it. People get to like design their own school, like they got school supplies, and they're like so excited to use school supplies, and they always wear perfume, and they've got vanities inside their schools. You know, it's like buying the mirror magnet for the inside of your locker. I never use the inside of my locker, so I never bought any like catty stuff. But like, that's the idea. But I knew plenty of girls who like bought like mirrors for the inside of their lockers, but didn't use them for shit. And this is like what the hope of you being able to do that would be. It's crazy. Whew. And this was all me, Dylan shouted from the back of the class, where a row of 16 matching brown and gold monogram Louis Vuitton suitcases were mounted on iron hooks. Say hello to our new lockers. Effie got them from my mom's travel closet at the studio. We cannot do this. We are so close to the end. I'm gonna need you to shape up, motherfucker. Of course, Lane hates it, because Lane hates most cool things. Like, Lane hates this kind of genre of girly girl thing. Like, Lane is a fashion icon in her own respect, and there are plenty of people who would love to dress like Lane, but I am totally at odds with what Lane stands for, and find her to be quite annoying in this book. Lane is of course upset because it's not as edgy and alternative as the original like gross place was, because she's a little, you know, a little nematode, a little feral rat girl. You know, there's this TikToker that I follow, so I'm saying that, but I don't want it to come off like I created it, who says she's a rat girl living in a that girl world, and that's Lainey interacting with the rest of the pretty committee. I can't believe they turned the air conditioner on when she knows I'm half naked. You know, she's very DIY punk scene, and this is all very like TJ Maxx, Jaclyn Hill 2015. Again, they start making this an exclusive situation as people from the main building come to look, but Massey is like, no, you can't. So she gathers up her little losers, and very similarly to what she did in her summer collection book, she tells people what's wrong with their faces and is like, okay, look at your desk. And she's like, what, my face? Her sparse light eyebrows lowered in confusion. Yep, your face. That's an LBR. Her Great White, Twizzler, Big Mac, Braille Bait, Powder, Monkey Paws, Blonde Lincoln, Bag Hat, Candy Corn, Putty, and Loofah exchanged confused glances. The NPCs explode into a collective cackle. But don't worry, I can help. Tonight, leave your homework in your Smithsonians and in your Sammonites. It's makeover time. Makeover, 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 makeover. They cheered with uninhibited glee while Massey slumped back into her cushy seat, programming the chair to vibrate as she shut her eyes and practiced deep breathing. Once relaxed, she began picturing each LBR, compiling a hair, makeup, and wardrobe strategy for each one. Her heart raced just as she was thinking about the amount of work that lay ahead. Turning the trailers into a Tiffany box was one thing, but turning coals into diamonds was a whole other thing. So, next chapter, literally the scan, the everything she's gonna do to everyone. She essentially invites the girls, everyone, all the LBRs, to her hairstylist Jacob, and everyone gets something done. It's a massive spreadsheet. I never remember to scan these, so I probably won't, but like, it's like here, of things, like, it's really extensive. It goes on for like 3 pages. It's intense. I was gonna read it, but I'm feeling like I don't want to, and so hopefully I remember to get it scanned. So, on Wednesday, at the Tiffany trailers, as they're now being called, Miss Dunkel is dressed up, and Winky is coming back to do a follow-up story, and it's now time for her redemption arc. Massey gets a teacher to wear a cute outfit so that everyone can look their best. Massey gives a quick course in looking like you've been there before. These are the top 5 rules for on-camera fabulousness. 1. Act like you're having too much fun to notice the cameras. 2. Pretend perfection comes easily. Never tell them how hard you work to look good. 3. Visualize your favorite celebrity. Imagine you look like them. 4. Don't ever tell anyone where you brought something. If you get a compliment, say thanks. I got it in Europe. 5. Sell the dream. Isn't that what she teases Alicia for doing? But whatever. The LBRs write down all their information. Claire is like, okay, so I'm going to actually take this time to not do any of that, and I'm actually going to make eye contact with Dempsey so that I can make Cam jealous. Claire actually spots pretty easily that Massey is smitten kitten with Dempsey. I'm watching Bachelor in Paradise, and Kate says that a lot. With Dempsey and Massey together, and she's like, I don't really want him for anything, but I do need to flirt with him. Moments later, they were shoving their way past the LBRs, waving poster boards that said, down with the makeover flow, and welcome to the fake overflow. Lainey and her friends, Lainey, Mina, and Heather. But the NPC and the LBRs were too busy not noticing Winky in the camera to care. How do I still have this much? Am I gonna have to take a break? Am I gonna have to stop filming? We're just gonna have to fucking run it. So Alicia after school invites everyone to her house. And Alicia's still very nervous about hosting because she's not Massey. Massey has been doing this for the past 4 years and is, confident that her staff knows what her friends want, and she knows what her friends want, and she's able to provide that. And Alicia's feeling very uncomfortable with that. This isn't hanging out at the skate park, which they were already doing, but Alicia physically cannot do that anymore. It is not for her. It's back on, announced Plover, pulling his brown and yellow Burton snow cap over his elfin ears. Winky's high-def, poreless face suddenly filled the screen. The reporter was standing in BOCD's parking lot wearing a navy Escada sport tunic dress over matching wide leg pants. It feels like another beautiful summer day, but don't be fooled. Fall is fast approaching, and with that comes change. And no one knows more about that than the handful of students who managed to turn those before shot of the dingy white trailers into these. The camera pushed past her, zooming in on a gleaming double-wide Tiffany & Co. box as if it was lit somehow from above. "Here they come now," she whispered with the hushed enthusiasm of a bird watcher. The trailer door burst open, and there she was. Massey appeared at the top of red velvet-covered stairs, and then paused to slide on her bronze Dior sunglasses. The metallic stripes in her brown dress reflected the late afternoon sun and glittering winks. Her lips shimmered like a glassy lake at dusk, and her side pony had more sheen than a new Gloria Mentel shoulder bag. But it was the purple hair streak that she casually twirled around her index finger that showed that the world how unstoppable she was. Sure, anyone could buy a fabulous outfit, wear shiny gloss and have flawless hair, but not everyone would have the vision to add a purple streak, announce a boy fast, or turn a hideous metal trailer into a Tiffany box. She had always steps ahead, impossible to beat, and the best anyone could ever do was walk beside her, and Alicia was missing that privilege more and more with every passing second. One by one, the NPCs and LBRs descended the staircase, as if completely unaware of Winky and the camera. Oh my gosh. It's full-on after parade. Seriously, who are those people? They're like almost hot, Kemp dared. Fulbert leaned towards his couch, and the two high-fived. They've been massied. Instead, they saw shots of the NPC and LBRs chatting and laughing in the parking lot. Shockingly, not one person so much as side-glanced the camera. They didn't fuss with their hair, bite their nails, or scratch their inseams. Instead, they mingled and glided from one attractive person to the next, with the grace and skill of the Upper East Side debutantes. In fact, they were so engrossed in their muffled musings, Winky seemed too intimidated to ask for interviews. Instead, she whispered the way one does in a holy temple or at a designer trunk show. It lifts the human spirit to see what can happen when the oppressed pull together and fight back, especially when they ended up better off than they could have ever dreamed. She smiled warmly, and where there's triumph, there's love. The camera cut to a shot of Claire, who lifted a dandelion to her nose and sniffed it. She mouthed, "Thank you," to Dempsey. Cam stiffened. Kate started crying, and Olivia ignored them both as she struggled to untangle a massive knot that had formed in her multi-tiered silver chain necklace. It wasn't until Kate tumbled onto the floor and Cam jumped to rescue that Olivia lifted her head. But as Alicia could think, all Alicia could think was Cam was flirting with Dempsey and how she'd be better in the process of turning in her bracelet, or she would sue the NPC for unfair treatment. "What?" Josh gasped, picking up on the injustice. "That's not fair." "I know." Alicia beamed, grateful as always to have him on her side. It was hard to know if he wanted the silence or calm the doll or the show. Let's leave these lovebirds alone and slip inside the nest for a quick tour." She urged the camera to follow her inside. The soccer stalkers gasped when they saw the rows of mirrored desks and cotton-covered walls and the velvet ceilings and the rows of Louis Vuittons, and even Alicia was impressed. The boys are less interested because who wants to live in a jewelry box when you're a 14-year-old boy? I'm actually very proud of Lacey Harrelson because she doesn't lean into what would totally have been appropriate 2008 speak, appropriate, where a teenage boy would call something gay. But you could definitely feel that that's where they're leaning towards with the way they're just like, this is stupid. Scurly. So yeah, they say some transphobic shit here. Seriously, dude, could you imagine if word got out that the soccer team went to school in one of those things? We'd be destroyed. Dempsey doesn't seem too upset, Cam blurted out bitterly. He will be once he hikes up his skirt and realizes he's not a girl. Yikes. Honestly, I don't know, maybe I would have been more, I'm not, So Winky was back in the parking lot surrounded by the LBRs and the NBCs. NLBRs, by the way. That's not a Losers Beyond Repair, but who all were beaming and smiling and ignoring the woman with the microphone, who was standing off to the side, going on about how incredible the trailers were and how impressed she was that Massey Block had made it all happen. Darrington throws a spitball at the screen because he's pissed about that. No one's happy about this, and Alicia is feeling very, very, empty, missing her friends. All of a sudden, Alicia's dad starts getting all these phone calls. Alicia listens in, and it turns out that all the people who are, like, his clients and their kids go to the school, he's getting calls about them being like, I want my kid inside that trailer right now. I wanted my kid in that trailer yesterday. Why hasn't it already happened? And, all her life, she dreamed of making the news, not watching it, and no one did that better than the NPC. No one. Yeah. So now, it is Wednesday, September 16th. Okay, so... Oh, I love this. Why don't you portable some bitches? I'm sorry, that's actually... I wish I had used that line. That's great. It's a whole bunch of people from BOCD begging to be and demanding to be let in and let their children into the portables, and that their child this and their child wants to be in the portables, and the portables this and the portables that. Why don't you portable some bitches, Alright, so immediately after Massey sees that Claire was flirting with Dempsey, she beats the crap out of her with a remote. She's just like, bunk, horny bunk. And is like, hey, they have a little back and forth, and Claire is like, I'm not interested in Dempsey. It was an accident. The boys, don't mean anything. Claire's like, and Massey's like, you better not be also trying to get with Cam, and she's like, no, it was just an accident. But if it wasn't an accident, I don't like Dempsey. You're totally free to do that. Claire knows in her heart of heart that her flirting was good, and that Cam must be jealous. So she's feeling very successful. A singular win for Claire. Massey leads the NPCs and the NLBRs, the overflow kids, into an assembly because it was such a hit that the school's gotten all these calls about how unfair it was, and that who got to get in and all that. The school announces a competition to dress up the lockers. To dress up your lockers in the best way, and that there will be a vote. Kind of a raffle situation. To win themselves a spot in the portables. Massey is pretty pissed because this is what she like built this herself, and now it's being taken away and just being able to be given out to anyone. She's had to like explain all this LBR, NPC Girls Like Us stuff, not only to Claire over the last year, but also now she had to explain it and extend herself to the NBRs and LBRs. And she just does not want to have to do that anymore. She is an alpha, and she's not an alpha if everyone gets an access to her spot. Racism. It's not racism. Exclusionary tactics are not inherently racist. Given I do think that only white people and Alicia go to this school. So... whatever. They sold the dream, and now they're getting booted out to their new spot, and Massey is very upset. Massey is just like, did my alpha card expire? What did I do for this? Okay, so Alicia is trying to get her locker done up. Everyone's working very hard except for the soccer stalkers, because the soccer team doesn't want to go. They think it's stupid. And honestly, okay, yeah, there you go. Alicia is going to be working as a correspondent, so she'll be announcing the winners. She is again reminded that these girls are not her girls. And, you know, she's like, I don't know what I'm gonna wear. And Corey's like, oh my god, my grandmother said that there's like a suit set that you could totally borrow that's like totally TV ready. And Alicia's just like, I cannot be hanging out with these broke bitches. Take that shit off girls, because they are certainly not put it on. They're not Mr. Put It On. Essentially, it's like that TikTok where it's like, oh my god, what's your major? Oh, it's mathematics. I could never do that. I cannot keep having the same conversations with you. This is essentially that. So it is the night of, and Lane is protesting and just doing some white people shit. Audible snippets of the conversation rose above the chatter like oil in low-fat salad dressing. Alicia held her breath. Pass the feathers, insisted an angry girl. Lame. I thought you were against the new trailers, Claire teased. I am. So why are you decorating your suitcase? This is a political display. What is it? Screeched a male NBR. A tribute to the Native American Indians. Kirsten cackled. Others snickered. It's not funny. Not Kirsten. Lane practically whined. This is the kind of thing that happens all the time. As soon as the little people make something for themselves, a white man comes along and takes it. No. Okay, Rachel Dolezal. You are not going to treat HBCUs in Native American lands in the same way. Where was everyone during the thunderstorm back when we had nothing? No one said a word. I'll tell you where they were. They were filing their nails in the dry co-ed classrooms, looking out their windows and laughing at the soggy eeks and overflow. Personally, Lane thinking so lowly of herself, you know, you gotta turn that math around. You think so lowly of yourself as a dripping geek? You need to gain some more self-esteem. You know what would help with that self-esteem? A makeover. It's wild. So Alicia goes over trying to figure out what the pretty committee wants and to see if Massey has any kind of reaction, but Massey is stone cold to her. She's either not giving in and she like ghosts out on her. Alicia goes into the overflow room and watches as Massey completely breaks down and just puts her head on her desk, not even trying to decorate her locker suitcase because she's given up. I mean, you can't keep outrunning these people trying to take her shine. Massey's sitting in sadness and she sees it and she's like, I know what I must do for my alpha. Alright, so it's that night. It's time for the voting and it smells of hot glue and hot lights. Alicia is giving Miss Teen USA and a little bit of journalism as she prepares to give her presentation of, you know, the local news and also give out the votes. She has a little rapport going on with Winky, going up and down the aisles, discussing different contestants. Again, the boys refused to do it. Olivia made Cam do it so that their family wouldn't be separated. Olivia made Kate's diaper at lunchtime and hasn't changed it since and is mad that she's pooped. Olivia is so dumb, bless her heart. The NLBRs handcuffed themselves to their Louis Vuitton suitcases with stop the makeover takeover signs. Obviously Lane is protesting and being annoying elsewhere. Alicia continues to see Massey essentially rolling over and dying. It's absolutely killing her on the inside. And it's almost time for the announcements. Alicia knows what she must do. She keeps getting like, hey losered over the side of her ear. She can hear Massey calling, hey loser. But every time she looks for her, she can't find her. She sees Massey flirting with Dempsey and is like, is that illegal? Is that fair? But she's like, you know what? We are past that at this point. Something to deal with later. The two make eye contact across the crowded room, as they tend to do. And as they did in Revenge of the Wannabes, where they're like, oh my god, we are best friends and we don't need to be... We see each other on a different level than all these other bitches. What? Alicia faced her ex-BFFs with renewed hope. Tell me, I'll do anything. The NPC stepped closer, obviously equally anxious to know where Massey was going with this. Indie out! Mainstream indie in! Oh, now I get it. That's what she meant by the Native Americans. That's embarrassing. Indie in! Mainstream out! Stop the makeover takeover! Indie in! Mainstream out! Get rid of the boys. Huh? Alicia clocked her head, not sure if she heard it right. The lights in the hall flashed on and off. The way they do on Broadway when the show's about to start. Everyone started making their way to the new Green Cafe. It was time to announce the winner. Get rid of them. Massey snapped her suitcase shut. What do you mean get rid of them? Alicia asked, glancing at her watch. How am I supposed to? Your problem. Massey clapped her hands twice. The NLBRs formed a single line behind her, their Louis Vuittons dragging across the floor like limbless dogs. Ever since I got here, nothing has been the same, and I want it to be the same. Me too, but then make it happen. Massey turned and stormed down the hall. Alicia opened her mouth and quickly closed it. It was time to push her words aside and give her actions a chance to speak. So, next chapter, Claire is again having her own sad side plot. She senses that Cam is near due to his scent because she knows his scent more than anything else. That's really embarrassing, girl. Get a grip. She gets super emotional, and Cam is like, I missed you, girl. And she has a breakdown. Claire cries number 2. While she's in the bathroom, she hears a baby Kate crying and is like, oh my god, you poor thing. She has some extra fabric and makes it a diaper. Cam comes in and is like, oh my god, she needs someone like you. I need someone like you. Like, peak baby daddy shit. Like, literally, like, Thanksgiving, I was giving thanks, and I woke up and I realized I had not had Thanksgiving since we broke up. Girl, we should get back together text. Like, a big old future text. She's like, well, she needs a mom, but I'm not her. I'm the stepmom. I'm glad she has a stepmom. And then puts the baby back in his arm and runs off to go cry somewhere else. Good for her. So Alicia is finally ready to do the announcements. She finds Massey in the crowd. She pays attention. She's like, this one's for you, bitch. She's suddenly like, okay. So the people who are going to the portables are the Tucker boys. Chris Plover, Joss Holtz, Darrington Harrington, Kemp Hurley, Cam Fisher, and Dempsey Solomon. But then Massey's like, no, you keep Dempsey. So she's like, oh, okay. Actually, not Dempsey Solomon, Dempsey Rosen. And Massey's like, They decide that they're friends again just through eye contact. It is unclear if Alicia gets to keep her jaw as anchor because Principal Burns is like, what the fuck did you do? That's not what the list was. And Alicia's just like, well, my dad's actually gonna sue. What was that? Justice, Alicia said with pride. No, Justice is suspending you for making up your own list of winners. Do you know how outraged the board members are going to be when they find out? How are they going to find out? Alicia tore the list into tiny pieces. And if they do, just explain that my list convinced my dad's clients to drop the lawsuit they were filing against you. Me? Yeah, Alicia frantically fainted from dry mouth. This whole trailer thing messed them up. They were about to sue you for billions of dollars in therapy. This new list convinced them to drop everything. You can thank me later. Before the principal had a chance to respond, Alicia jumped off the platform and speed walked to table 18, where her friends were waiting. She goes off to join the new pretty committee. The two hugs, their alpha powers, their alpha beta powers are merging. We just love a good parasitic best friendship. And there's a silent, I'm sorry for choosing my crush over you, and I'm sorry for lying about it. The overflow kids are like, Massey, are you gonna come and visit us? And she's like, no, I don't ever want to speak to you guys again, but take what I've learned and be better for it. And honestly, I don't think she could have done any better than that. She doesn't need new friends. We're so close. Dempsey's like, oh my god, we should totally hang out. And she's like, actually, no, because I gotta go be a good friend right now. Which was very hard for her, but, you know, we stand some baby steps. I want to see you. Let's talk. And she's just like, ugh. So, she kind of curbs Dempsey. Claire gets a text from Cam and is like, girl, I miss you. Hold up, let me read it because it sucks. Dumped O, worst mom. You're the only one for me. XOXO. C. It's Cam trying to get back with her. She's like, I'm ignoring the text. Massey's like, give me your bracelet. Everyone's panicked. Everyone gives over their bracelets. Massey takes them and it's just like, boy fast is over. We're done. It's time to actually move into our real first phase of being alphas of 8th grade. Breaking boys' hearts. I've truly been sliding this evening. Alright, so last current State of the Union. I know I don't always read the current State of the Union, but they're not always important. But I felt this one was pretty important. God, that means that's more than 64. Jesus Christ, that was a big one. In the PC, Dempsey, Boy Fest, and me. Out is the NPC, Darrington, and a Boy Fast. Yeah, so that was, let's cover my jank nail. That was BRATFEST at Tiffany's. I really like this one. I read it in a couple of big chunks. For 60 pages. I have not been putting these in Goodreads. I need to go back and do that. I'm really excited to be getting back into making these. I've been trying to make sure I get content out consistently every weekend. It's good to know that each weekend, I at least know that one weekend, or at least 1 week each month is going to be covered. So I don't have to worry about 3 months worth of content. I'm really excited to finish up strong with these. What's probably going to happen is I'm going to finish out these in November, December, January, February, March. So I'm going to finish this sometime in the spring, and then after a year of waiting, I think I will finish up these. I have so many. I've got 3 more of those books that I don't have videos on. I have these books that I wanted to read. I have these 2 books that I have to read for content for my teen series. And then I have these 2 that just come from an imprint of like teen books that I'm really into. So yeah, I you know, sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna run out of content. You know, I have this whole year. I really feel like this is going well. This is going good. Megan from a couple of hours ago will display you what next month's book was. It's P.S. Yeah, it's P.S. I love you. I love you. I really thought it was gonna be Boys R Us. Like, I guess there are 2 more with there are 3 more books. P.S. I Loathe You, These Boots Are Made for Stalking, and Boys R Us that are left with this print style. Blow the bag. Cut this. Yeah. I have an end card. I'll leave it up to Megan of the Future to decide what goes there. Bye, guys. Book. I gotta scan it. Okay, so we've... Alright. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books left. Wow. Alright, so 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is their 10th video. book number 9 will be P.S. I Loathe You. And my copy has seen better days. She's scummy. She was definitely a well-loved, abused book. I feel like I need to spray this with Lysol. Like, I need to be worried about mold. But, yeah, that's going to be November's book. So cute in the aesthetics. I feel like I am completely at odds with Lacey Harrelson when it comes to Valentine's Day aesthetics, but